way of mounting this, so that's the problem. I don't have a proper way of doing this. So we're just gonna try to do it as best we can. I don't want to hold it up the whole fucking time, but yeah, I need a little mini mount or something like that. We'll see how this one goes. But people should be able to hear me, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But this is just a chat. We heading to the VA right now. But it's just, we might not be able to catch all the comments and stuff like that. That's not gonna work. Definitely can't mount it. And I think this shit just like, wow, my mount just broke basically. So I don't want to hold this up the whole time, but I might have to do that so that way we can chit chat. I still need to get a mount for the another one for the car, I guess, so that way I can just chat and tag it along here, because my mount just literally like fell apart on me. So I can't even really use it well because it literally just like decided to fall apart. But this is more so talking on all these recent events and all these recent changes that have been going on. A lot of people ain't realizing what these effects are going to have on veterans. Just the executive, like some of these executive orders, because I have my feelings towards a bunch of the other stuff that's ongoing that most people ain't paying attention to. But the executive orders that have been in place are going to affect veterans. A lot of people want to deny it. Most people don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to pay any mind to it. And it's just like, people need to start realizing that there's secondary and tertiary effects when it comes to dealing with the VA or dealing with executive orders. Because you got to remember, not all states are the same. Some states operate differently. Some states you got some crazy amount of benefits for veterans, and some states you don't have much at all. Shit, you have the fact that the state of New Hampshire doesn't even really have a VA medical facility because they had to, basically because of the budget, put some of the shit down or lessen or restrict the amount of stuff that they had for a VA hospital, which that's explained on the benefits thing. Things need to change. You can't make everything perfect. He's in, like, and that's the thing. And that's the thing that people need to understand. It's just like there's more ramifications when it comes to this, because the thing is he's doing all this stuff, which is basically breaking down stuff that was created to assist people. Now, with a federal hiring freeze, like the biggest thing I would say is the federal the hiring freeze, right? So right now, if you are a veteran, right, if you're filing a disability claim, it's not that big of an issue. The problem that we have with filing disability claims is ICE is coming for you. I wish ICE would, because then when I show them I'm an American veteran, born U.S. citizen, that's going to be a fun conversation, because they just going to try to get me, and I'm going to just hold up their time and waste their time, because you're going to arrest me, and you're just going to be like, oh, shit, this dude's an American. Look, y'all can call them all y'all want. Veterans are not winning with this. A hiring freeze doesn't help. Veterans right now are behind in a what? Like about, if you are a veteran that basically, let's say you got your disability claim denied wrongfully. Now you're in the appeals process. The appeals process has a backlog of 3 fucking years. So now, put that into perspective. You got veterans right now that are waiting on a decision that's back 3 years. So you got a backlog of veterans that cannot get an answer for 3 years. Mind you, you're going to do a hiring freeze. Mind you, you're going to be taking away programs. Mind you, a lot of veterans don't understand that you are fucking DEI. Veterans are DEI hires. Name one policy that helped from the Democrats that helped the veterans. The PACT Act. That's how ignorant some of y'all people are. The PACT Act was literally by Representative Democratic from California that sponsored and proposed the PACT Act. But y'all don't actually look into stuff. Y'all just think it's whatever y'all being told. But if you're in a backlog and you can't file a disability claim and now there's not enough people to actually hire to do it. Yeah, Raphael, I know it's only going to get worse. For veterans like you that have been waiting years for an appeal, it's only going to get worse. Because the thing is if a 3-year hiring stuff or 90 days of hiring, not being able to hire somebody, that's not that big of a deal. It's 90 days. You can survive after the 90 days. The problem that happens is that in those 90 days, you're not hiring anybody new. You're not hiring anybody new. And also, you are doing this, everybody that is working remote has to come back to the office. How does that work for VA raiders that work remotely? Because that's the thing, you're implementing stuff and it's not even like a full developed plan. You got VA raiders that work remotely, but federal employees are supposed to now work from the office. So what does that mean? You got certain VA raiders that ain't even located close to DC, let alone they're not even close to their state's VA facility. So how are you going to be able to take care of veterans if you can't even be you can't do it from home? You got to find an office. Some people got denied claims of just getting their job straight off the bat. But it's just like people don't realize that and people ain't paying attention to those little things. There's secondary effects. Those secondary effects cause issues for veterans. You trying to cut funding here, cut the employees there. We already in a backlog for veterans, where veterans are having a hard time just even getting their claims processed. Now you want to start removing and cutting people, because the thing is that people don't realize. When it comes to this working from home thing and remote thing, it's not that they want people back in the office. It's that they know so many people don't want to come back to the office, which means a lot of these people are just going to quit or leave, meaning they don't have to worry about a severance pay. They don't have to worry about all the other stuff because it's not going to involve them. The amount of people that work remotely that don't have to go into work and are successful that way, it's working. You know, some people don't, but at the same time with the VA, you are being tracked when you are a VA raider as to how many packets you see or how many veteran claims you see. That's being notated. So there's actual performance measures for VA employees. So it's not like VA employees can just like bullshit the whole day and just collect a check, because you have to show that you're processing stuff. Maybe you're not processing it correctly, but you have to show that it's being processed. But I'm still waiting. I've gone from 10:30 and recently to 50% of my work made me quit. VA is saying pyramid my needs. If your job made you leave because of your disabilities, that's where you need to take that information and file for TDIU if you're trying to get 100%. If you can get 100% through the appeals process, do it that way, because you'll be more successful that way, because you'll get the P&T. But if you can't get the P&T because you're still missing out on other stuff, that's a clear indication that it's just like, hey, I was working a job. I was fired or I lost my job because of my disabilities off of that. Just like anyone else, the boss said you have to show up to the office. Yeah, but like everyone else, most people don't know that they boss don't know what the fuck they doing. Because that's the thing. It's just like, if you have these in place, you should have them a bit more solidified. You should have them more direct so that actual people know what the hell is going on when you create these policies. Because like I said, working from home, a lot of VA raiders work from home. They are remote employees. So now you are telling them they have to find an office to work out of. Was there clarification on that? No. It just said you just got to come back to the office. And you have to put the justification for that, Raphael. Put the justification for that information. So when you do it and you file a personal statement. File a buddy statement. Get one of those people that work there with you to corroborate your story about you not being able to do it. Your knees gave out multiple times while doing it. And that's how you got to go about it. You have to make sure that you are stating that stuff so that they can explain it and understand it. Because otherwise, they're not going to pay attention to it. You have to make sure you are making it sound like, oh, okay, I'm dealing with this and this is what happened. It don't matter, and that's the thing that people need to understand. This whole I was at war or wasn't at war thing, that shit does not matter. That only matters to those veterans that want to be hardcore and use it as their glory story, because sometimes they don't got any other stories to tell. But VA benefits is for all veterans. It doesn't matter if you went to war or if you did go to war. If you didn't go or did go, doesn't matter. You are still a veteran. You still served your country. Not everybody serves in the same capacity. Not everybody deploys to the same locations. Not everybody deploys. Some people have admin jobs, or some people are even in those certain combat industries, or combat arms basically, and they still don't deploy. They could be in there the whole time and they just bounce around to different locations, and just when you were about to deploy, something might have happened. And you could have served a lot of your time without deploying. So that's not a counting factor. It's the factor of, did you get your stuff documented? Can you prove it to that? Yeah, you can use buddy statements for anything. Any claim you make, you can have a buddy statement attached to it. Why? Because then you have another piece of evidence that another person that was there with you, alongside with you, it could even be one of your Marine buddies if you still know them and got them as contacts, about a time when you injured that knee. And then afterwards, you can put it, hey, these are buddy statements from my co-workers when I was working and I lost the ability to use my knee, or I lost my ability to do that. That's what a lot of veterans don't understand. A buddy statement can come from anybody. It can come from your spouse. It can even come from your kids. And most people don't realize that. You can have a buddy statement for your kid talking about, hey, like if you deal with PTSD or you deal with anything like that, my daddy can't pick me up because his knee is fucked up. Don't write it like that. Don't go ahead and do all that. Don't have the kid write a statement and say, yo, my daddy can't pick me up because his knee's fucked up. Don't put it that way. But you know, you gotta understand, you gotta put it in a way where it's just like, a kid, this is how it's affecting your kid. This is how my life is different because my dad can't pick me up, or my dad can't take me to soccer because he can't. All those different instances show how it affects you, how it affects your mental health, because that's depressing, and that affects your family's things when going through it. So I didn't know. See, but those are things that you have to file an increase for. Because if you already have mental health stuff, you can file an increase. So if you have that, said, am I going to KFC? No, I'm going to the VA. KFC. You gonna feed me? You gonna do a mobile order and pay for me? I'm all for it if you're gonna do it. I'll find the KFC. I'll find the KFC if that's what you plan to do. But that's the thing most veterans don't understand. It's just like when you are building your disability claim, your claims, you have to make them things foolproof. You have to look at all the information you have. A lot of veterans tend to forget things that happen and then it magically pops up. Like I keep telling people, you have to make a I Hurt Me book. And people will probably be like, what the fuck is an I Hurt Me book? The same way you had an I Love Me book where it had your awards, your promotions, your certificates and stuff like that. Hopefully y'all know what that is, and hopefully when y'all serve, y'all got that. But you need to have that documentation, but the same way for all the ailments you have. Just got knocked from 100% to 70 because I was TDIU and worked. It's a tricky situation when you're doing TDIU, because the thing is if you work for TDIU, the most you can make is above the poverty level, which is like about $15,000. So if you were working, if you got TDIU, you basically got TDIU because you were not able to work. That's why you got the TDIU, because you weren't able to work. It's like, where did you serve? Does it matter where I served? Are you one of those that likes to ask people where they served to see if your veteranness is more worthy than mine? But that's the thing that people don't understand with TDIU. If you are applying for TDIU and you get TDIU, some people have just PTSD. I'm gonna put in sleep apnea, GERD, tinnitus. That car's like sideways. The fuck? Put in for all those claims. If you have claims, put it on there. You don't want the scheduler. You want to get P&T. Scheduler is good. You're going to get paid at the 100% mark. The only thing is that you don't get the benefits. You don't get that you don't get the P&T, so you don't get the Chapter 35, so your dependents don't get the Chapter 35. Your dependents can't sign up for secondary insurance with Champ VA. Those are important things to have. Those are things you want to have. Those are things you need to have when it comes to it. Because remember, if you become scheduler, what happens is now you're at 100%, but what the scheduler is basically saying is like, you've made it to 100%, but we think the stuff you have is going to get better. Meaning they will try to reevaluate you because of the fact that you're scheduler. So if you have, let's say, any one of those and they don't max you out to 100% P&T, they're going to do that. So that's what people need to understand. That it's like there's 4 different types of 100%. There's 100% P&T, there's 100% temporary, there's 100% scheduler, and then there's 100% TDIU. With the 100% P&T, you're permanent in total. They're not going to try to reevaluate you unless you start putting in stuff to get more reevaluations. 100% scheduler is basically you made it to 100%, but the VA sees it as, all right, he's injured, but he can still, we can check him out and he's probably going to improve on some of these issues. Temporary is usually the one, like if you have, let's say, that's when you have, hold on, give me a second. Temporary is when you have, like, let's say, a surgery. So you have an issue with the surgery and you have to get surgery for like a service connected issue. They recognize that now you may be at 100% for that time period during surgery and recovery time. So let's say you get shoulder surgery. They know you're now going to be at 100% because you ain't going to be able to use your shoulder. So they're going to probably give you 100% temporary till the surgery is done and expected recovery time is taken care of. And then the last one was TDIU, which is basically you're not 100% disabled. You are disabled because of a specific disability, which is able to be employed. But if you file for TDIU, you got to remember that you are going to lose out on stuff. You are not going to be able to work as you please. You have to work below the poverty line, which for some people don't realize that, and then they end up getting a job, and then they might end up losing a job, or you might lose TDIU or lose everything else. It's everybody. The thing is, Raphael, the bad part is that there's too many misguided veterans, and that's the problem we're running into. There's way too many misguided veterans that don't know the information, don't know how to get help, or they end up getting taken advantage of by one of these claims companies. Like, I just do this to do this. Like, I'm driving to the VA right now to go to a dental appointment. Driving to the VA, but I figured with this time I have, it's basically like an hour drive to me. I can talk to veterans, try to assist them. The same thing with the workshops I do every Sunday. It's just basically to try to educate veterans on their issues. Because most of the time, veterans don't know what's going on, or they're not aware, or they're not paying attention to the things because they just going off of what they heard, off of what somebody told them, or what they heard in the news, and they don't pay attention to the stuff. And that's, I think, the biggest issue. That you have a lot of veterans that don't know this information. Most veterans don't know about a buddy statement. Most veterans don't know about a disability benefit questionnaire. Most people don't know about that stuff. Like, hey, you can write your own personal statement and then also get a buddy statement. Well, buddy statement can come from your spouse. A buddy statement can come from one of your buddies. It can come from your neighbor. I told one of the vets that came in that, hey, if you can't cut your grass because of your back, that's a buddy statement because your neighbor's cutting your grass. So you can write the statement for him and have him sign like, yeah, I cut the grass now because I noticed that his grass would grow tall and he wasn't able to cut it. So I started doing it for him because he's not able to because of his disability. Because you got to remember, you trying to paint a picture to the VA, all of that stuff, you got to file all those claims. You got to go through that process. You got to let people know, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what has to be identified. Because the thing is if you went through burn pit, if you Desert Storm, Iraq, Afghanistan, any of those, you can claim the PACT Act stuff. But people got to remember, you have to have a diagnosis for it. It's not that you can just go and claim, oh, I think I got sinusitis or sinusitis or however the hell you say this shit, rhinitis, all those ones. You can't just say, oh, I got it. Yeah, it's presumptive, which is saying like, yeah, we understand that we might have caused this shit. That's them telling you that. We understand we might have caused this shit, but you need a diagnosis explaining and stating that you have that shit. Yeah, if she has breathing issues, she has to have it diagnosed. And with that, you can get on the DBQs. Like, I have the website, which is the Vetawarenessproject.com. I got the DBQs listed there, and I got VA forms listed there that people can use to just download them and look at them. If she's having breathing issues, she has to go and look at the respiratory stuff. Most of the time with the respiratory stuff, they're going to do the like that breathing apparatus to see how strong your lungs are or how well they're functioning. That's something she has to make sure she gets a referral for, and she does. Then she also needs to get a diagnosis from a doctor. It could be from the VA, or it could even be from a private doctor. That's something that she has to get, because then that way it shows that she's diagnosed and dealing with the issue. Then when she ties it into like, hey, this is a PACT Act claim. She served in Desert Storm. She was in this location at this time period, and that information, they'll be able to find that. But you're claiming that and you're filing that for her, so then it's not going to be denied because of the fact that you've provided information of a diagnosis, you've provided that she's getting medical treatment, and then she's also provided the information that she deployed into one of those areas where the PACT Act and the toxic exposure helps her with a claim. What's up, Shante? So those are things that people need to do. If people are having issues, you just have to get a diagnosis and pay attention to the PACT Act. Because the PACT Act is providing a lot of veterans assistance where they didn't know they could get it. Because if you're diagnosed with any of those presumptive conditions from the PACT Act, all you have to make sure is you have a diagnosis, show that you're getting treatment for it, and then file a disability claim for it. Because then they're going to be like, oh, well, if this person has cancer or this person developed this, they're diagnosed with it, they're getting medicated for it, or you don't even have to get medicated for it, you got diagnosed with it, and then doing different options, then you can file that as a claim. But you also got to remember, but one of the things people got to remember is that even though you file in that claim, you need to have the right documentation, the right paperwork, everything has to be correct. You have to have everything correct for yourself. If you don't have everything correct for yourself, it's going to be a tough time. It's going to be hard to get disability claims correct or get the right information or get the right answers. So you want to make sure you are getting the right documentation, and then you are going to the CFR, Code of Federal Regulations, Title 38, Chapter 1, Part 4 for the Schedule of Ratings, which means you're now going to look at what you're filing for a disability claim. You're going to look at that, and then you're going to see what percentage you can get from filing that. Because the thing is you're not going to get 100% from everything, and that's another misconception that a lot of veterans have. I was just like, oh, this is so bad, I need 100% for it. No, the Schedule of Ratings is going to dictate what percentage you can get for the disability you are claiming. So if you are claiming, let's say sinusitis, whatever it is, y'all know what I'm talking about. You need to be diagnosed with it. You may have been going to because the percentages for that one is just like you've been seen a couple of times, you've been treated a couple of times, and then that information is there. If you don't have that, you might have it, but they might just give you a service connection, so if it gets worse, you can get seen and get it. But the main thing you are trying to achieve is that you want to make sure you are getting that connection. You want to get the service connection. I was just like, even with my noise canceling, they should have still, see if I can put this down. But that's what people fail to realize sometimes. It's like all these things interconnect. Everything connects to each other. All that stuff is important information that you have to make sure you are aware of when filing a disability claim. The same thing if you're helping of another veteran or you're trying to get assistance. Oh, there go the cops. Are you a veterinarian? No, I am a veteran. Two different things. Start the same way, but two different things. So that's one thing that people need to understand with that. It's just like all that information is information that's provided to you. But if you don't do your due diligence, you're failing yourself. Because like I said, a lot of veterans don't understand that. You have to make sure and ensure that when you are providing a disability claim, you need to be able to hand that disability claim to a random person, and that random person should be able to tell you what's wrong with you. If you cannot build a disability packet and another random person can't tell you what's wrong with you, then why would a VA rater be able to? And that's one thing a lot of vets don't understand. They're VA raters. A lot of these VA raters, they work for the VA. Some of them never served a day in their life. Some of them never know or understand the experience that they go. Why? Because veterans ain't painting that picture of this is why he's disabled. Oh, this is what happened. Oh, this is what his job required him to do, and this is how he got this injury. All that documentation and all that information is vital for you to be successful. All of it. If you don't have any of that, why would anybody give you a percentage if they have no idea how you got it, where you got it from, or understand any of the issues with it? And that's the thing that as veterans we need to do better when it comes to that. No need to apologize. No need to apologize. I was like, these are the things that we deal with as veterans, and that's something that people need to learn to control. That is just like, you are handing a piece of paper or pieces of paper and documents and stuff like that to a person that has no idea who you are. Most of the time, most likely don't even give a damn who you are. But you are now expecting them to go above and beyond and find all the miscues and all the stuff that's wrong with you. That's not how it's going to work. You need to make sure that, hey, with all these changes and stuff like that, you're paying attention. If you file in a claim now, the last thing you want to do is go through an appeals process. The appeals backlog, like I said earlier, that's a 3-year wait. So for you to be successful and get your veteran claim done, you would have to wait 3 years. Possibly. It's probably going to go down, but said you shouldn't have said that. I don't see eye to eye with you on this topic. On what part? I've been saying a lot. I was like, I don't know what you're referring to. I've been talking a lot. It hasn't been said anything. So what exactly are you specifying that you don't see eye to eye with it? Because the thing is we can disagree. I got no problem with disagreeing with people. I was like, we don't always, like, look, one thing I've realized with veterans, we don't all have to agree. Some people have stuff ingrained into their thought process that can't be changed. So it's just like everybody does and everybody feels a certain way. Some people feel a certain way about our presidency now. Some people don't. Some people are paying attention to what the VA is pushing out. Some people don't. But at the same time, just being aware doesn't hurt. We're not going to agree on everything, but I'm going to still speak my piece because that's what we've joined for. But it's just like the education of veterans isn't there. A lot of people just want to blame the VA. The VA isn't all at fault. Sometimes it is, don't get me wrong. But all the time, it's not the VA. Because the VA can do fixes and stuff like that, but at the same time, if you have a freeze on hiring, right? That means there's less people that can be hired to work for the DOD. That means there's less people that can be hired for the VA. That means you have the ability or the inability to get more judges to take care of the appeals process. But like I said, at the same time, if you have your disability claim and you didn't file it correctly, you end up on that appeals list. Now you're on a 3-year backlog without any help coming for it, at least for these 90 days. Because remember, the Department of Government Efficiency is trying to cut jobs. They're trying to cut budget. They're trying to save more money, meaning that's a loss of jobs, that's a loss of different things, and it's just like people need to pay attention to that. The fact that you can't hire more VA raters is a problem. They did pass legislation that is going to assist VSOs, if people don't know. And I know some veterans will just be like, hey, I had a bad experience with VSOs. Cool, I got it. You had a bad experience. Some people have bad experiences, some don't. But at the same time, that VSO was still at least free, and you weren't getting money taken out of your disability claim because you went to a program or an entity that was charging you for something that as you can see, was done free. So that changes to the VSO and changes to like the VA secretary, where like the disability benefits questionnaires, the DBQs, now all of them are going to be able to be used now. Some of them are going to be changed, and some of them are going to be removed from the list that you can have a private doctor fill out. But those are things that veterans ain't paying attention to. A lot of veterans are, how can I put it? With the proposed changes to mental health, to sleep apnea, to tinnitus, all those things are there. They're all there. The thing is when they're going to be implemented, nobody knows. Because remember, the changes to mental health were supposed to be announced around April. That got moved to August of this year. So that's why I say it's an ongoing process, but veterans don't know, because the thing is, it's like, hey, some veterans feel, and a lot of people feel, that the mental health rating with the changes, if those proposed changes that they are saying might come into effect, are going to help veterans get a higher mental health rating percentage. The problem is that even if the regulation changes, you still need to do your due diligence. You still need to do your diagnosis. You still need to get your information correct. Kind of getting blessed with 10K debt, but I feel. What do you mean you got blessed with 10K? Like going through one of these entities, you're paying 10 grand? Because the thing is most veterans don't realize a lot of the stuff that's here you can do on your own. You don't need assistance. It's just that some of y'all don't have the clarity, and some of y'all don't understand where it is y'all have to go or where it is y'all have to be. Especially when it comes to the information. If you have a service-connected issue, your best bet would be to try to file for increases, because it's already service-connected. You don't need a nexus letter. You just need documentation showing that the issue you're dealing with is getting worse. So that's the first thing you should do to try to up your percentage. File increases for all the things that you have notated, documented, that have gotten worse from the previous rating. And like I said, that's checking the CFR and the schedule of ratings to see, hey, my back issue has gotten worse. I have this. I can't move as much. Can I get a 10% bump, 20% bump off of this disability claim? If yes, that's something you should file for first. Why? Because that's an easy increase, because it's just showing that it's worsened. You don't have to provide all the crazy information for it. My drive to the VA goes for like about 45 to an hour, basically. And if people don't know, I get reimbursed for this. If you are making trips of this length, you want to make sure that you are signed up for the BTSSS program. So it's basically the benefits travel system. I can't remember what the acronym is for. It's BTSSS. So it's basically for you to be able to submit a claim on driving to the VA if the VA is a farther location. So for me, it's 45 minutes to an hour, but they calculate it off of the miles that you drive. Yeah, you can claim that. So if you are driving like about an hour to go to a location, you go to the site, like you can type in, like if you search for it, is BT, like veterans BT, like Bravo Tango Sierra Sierra Sierra, and put it that way on Google, and it should show up like travel center. You have to sign up for it. Sometimes I believe you have to do the first part in office, which is basically like filling out like a check or something, basically so that they can direct deposit it to you. Sometimes you can just do it through the online thing and it works fine. For me, I've had issues with it, so sometimes I go back and forth. But if you're doing that system and you're getting a claim and you're getting paid for driving to a location, you're getting uploaded as part of the information. Because the thing is most of the time, I'm not gonna say all the time, but damn near all the time, any appointment that you have that is scheduled by the VA will show up on that system. Shit, if you've gone previously already, those should already be in your system, and you should be able to sign in. It should be able to pull up the stuff, and you should be able to file a claim on it. If they're gonna see, so that's the thing. It depends on your CMP examiner, because the thing is some CMP examiners are great fucking CMP examiners. Some understand the problem that veterans are going through, so they will go and also assist with writing more information or providing more claims into your file with the diagnosis and the stuff they did through that CMP examination. That doesn't always happen though. But if they're going to provide medical literature, going to provide information that allows the VA rater to see, like, hey, this is information that assists with this secondary or this ties into it. You always still want to make sure you have your own nexus letter from an outside entity. But like I said, in cases like that, you can also use a buddy letter, buddy statement, your own personal statement, because you want to paint that picture for that VA rater. The VA rater don't know who you are. The VA rater never seen you before. The VA rater has no idea who the hell you are or what you're talking about. But that's something that you need to understand, and that's something that you need to process with your disability claim. Because it's all there. It's all in the CFR. It's all in the regulation. But most people just skip over the fact. And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people, instead of going for their increases to the stuff that they already service connected, a lot of people would rather try to fight a new fight for something that they don't have yet. Because you got to keep this in mind. Let's say you have whatever you have, and the secondary you're trying to tie into it is sleep apnea. Did you max out the primary, the service connected issue? Did you max out that primary issue? Because yeah, sleep apnea developed because of that issue. But did you file everything you could to increase that primary issue? Because if it develops sleep apnea and you have the diagnosis and you have the nexus letter tying those together in the medical information, that means that it's causing it and it's connected to it. So the secondary is sleep apnea. But did you max out the primary? Because basically, if that primary has gotten so bad that it has caused your secondary to create itself, it gives it a bigger backing. It gives it a stronger foundation. Like, oh, damn, he maxed out. It was just like he had, whatever the case may be, whatever you're tying it as a secondary. Did you max that out first? Have you looked into trying to increase that first and then filing for the secondary? Because the worse one condition gets, that means that the other one should worsen also. But that's where it gets tricky also, because the thing is you can fall into that whole reevaluation part. What state? The state of Kansas. Good old Kansas. But that's what you gotta understand. Those are things right there that it's just like, it happens. People don't know, but you have to make sure that you are updating your already service connected issues. Because if you already got service connected issues, you don't gotta prove to the Army to the VA that you have these injuries. Yo, JC, what up, my man? I was like, you don't got to prove that you have these issues if you are already service connected. I'm in North Carolina. Not sure where to start. It depends on what you want to do when it comes to assisting veterans. That's the main thing. You have to focus in on what you want to do to help assist veterans. Me, it's making sure veterans are aware of their benefits, their entitlements, their exemptions, assistance on how to file disability claims or filing claims that can assist them. That's what I do. Now, everybody doesn't do that. Some people, it's like, hey, some people help the if you have a big homeless veteran homeless community or area, you may want to assist by doing stuff for them. Maybe cooking them a meal, making sure they got warm clothes, bringing them coffee, stuff like that. You can do stuff in the community, but then you can also do stuff when it comes to assisting them and getting them to where they need to be. It depending on how you want to help veterans. There's multiple ways of it. There's no wrong way of helping veterans. It's just how do you want to do it? What resources do you have to do it? And how can you achieve what you're trying to do? And it's just understanding that. Because with me, I used to stream on Twitch, so I was just gaming a whole bunch, and that was while I was in service. I got out of service. I went through the problem of not knowing how to file my disability claims, how to go through that process, and then just dealing with the fact that it was just like I didn't know what I was supposed to do. So I figured if I went through this problem, I can imagine the countless number of veterans that go through these same issues and don't have any awareness, don't have any information, don't know who to talk to, don't know where to look for, have no guidance. So that's why I figured it was just like, hey, if I'm doing this, I could just do this because I'm not an expert. There's too much information there. But it's just like you can file for things and you can get information to people that can assist them. And it's just like, hey, you're going to be a veteran that's going to be better off having this information, having this knowledge. Filed for back pain due to my knee pain, but I've been static from my knee for over 5 years, so maybe may have. The thing is look, you got to remember, even though when you file for those evals to be looked at again, you got to remember and you got to keep in mind that you are going to be filing these things, right? So you're filing them. The difference is that have they gotten better? Has your knee gotten better? Because the thing is you can be reevaluated, but if your knee hasn't gotten any better, it might have gotten worse. That benefits you. Now, when it comes to the fact that your knee might have gotten better, that's where veterans fall into the problem. Because the thing is yeah, when you got out, you were beat up. I was just like, if your knee hasn't gotten any better, you shouldn't have to worry about a reevaluation. Because they can open the file and stuff like that. Because look, what veterans need to understand also, when it comes to getting a reduction on your disability claim, you have to go through at least 2 examinations or show 2 different instances where you have drastically improved, or where you've improved enough that going against the CFR, you are basically like you deserve to get a lower rating. I was just like, and that's the thing. It's just like you got a 10% knee rating, depends on what it is, because you can have that 10%, but if that knee has gotten worse and your mobility and your flexion has gotten worse, that's where you can file for an increase. Because the thing is they might reevaluate it as a secondary, but the thing is if your knee is causing you more pain, it's more unstable and stuff like that, just say, hello, Shaggy. That's a good one. It wasn't me though. It's not me. How about that? I was just like, that's something that you got to do. You got that 10% knee. You want to make sure that you're taking care of that. You want to make sure that it's just like, hey, is it getting worse? I'm filing for an increase here also, but I'm tying this as a secondary condition because my knee has worsened and it's making me more unstable, which is making me lean more, and then it's making me cause more issues towards the stability of my back and putting a strain on my back. And that's something that you can explain in a lay statement. So you can do that, but then also this is something you want to make sure you're getting diagnosed. And then you can have that nexus letter from that medical provider saying, hey, he has this knee issue. His knee issue is the reason why he has that. She said Mr. Bombastic was a compliment. That's fine. I'm just saying it wasn't me. But those are things that people need to realize. Those are things that people don't understand. Those are things that is difficult to comprehend for some people. They don't understand those things. But it's just like if you have an issue, reevaluation is not a problem. Reevaluation, you have to have instances. You have to have in your medical record that it has improved. The VA doesn't just reduce people to reduce people. If you go in there and you were only able to bend like 15% of your knee when you first got your diagnosis and you first got your claim, and then the second time you go in there, your knee is moving freely, then yeah, you may get a reduction because the fact is that you got that 10% because of what your knee was at. If you're rating and you get evaluated again to check the knee, to then check the back, and your stuff is better, they're gonna be like, well, your knee ain't that bad. Your knee isn't as bad as it was when we first filed this claim. So now we have the ability to reduce you because you're not meeting the criteria for it. Name, there's pills for that. Just saying. My car does not go broom broom. It's just an engine that keeps making a regular sound. But what the fuck? But yeah, that's thing that people need to realize and need to understand. Those are important factors there. Most people are scared of reevaluations because yes. Most people don't want to poke the bear because yes. If you are service connecting or secondary connecting issues to service connected issues, yes, there is a chance of you getting lower ratings because you got to remember, you are filing this secondary because of what's service connected and what's being caused by it. If the causes of the service connected issue have improved, 9 times out of 10, that means that what your secondary claim is not as bad anymore. So if you're dealing with sleep apnea, right? And your sleep apnea, you tied insomnia to it because you can't go to sleep anymore. You have problems sleeping because of the fact that, your sleep apnea is there. Now you go, they order a sleep study because you're not 100%. They order another sleep study, let's say. And with the new sleep study that they order, you ain't got nothing wrong with you. Your sleep apnea just magically cured itself. Well, if your sleep apnea cured itself, you shouldn't be having breathing problems because you don't have anything to worry about. You're breathing fine when you sleep now, so you should be able to go to sleep because you don't have that. And that's what people don't realize. There's a connection there. The same way you are service connecting it or secondary connecting it, it is the same way you have to, it's the same way they do it when it comes to a reduction. Well, this is caused by this. If this no longer exists, it can't be caused by it no more. Because then it could just be like, well, you don't have sleep apnea, so we can't secondary connect your insomnia to it because it's not the same. But those are the things that people need to pay attention to, and it's just like a lot of people don't realize that that's vital information and vital things that most people don't understand and don't pay attention to. The VA has to make sure that you have improved your capabilities. You have to have gotten better. There's no we're gonna reduce you because we're just gonna reduce you. It doesn't happen that way. You have to be checked out. You have to be seen. It has to be notated. Oh, yes, I am in the Hundo Club. 100% permanent and total. And I got there on doing the BDD process and also filing for issues and stuff that I didn't know I could file for after I educated myself more on these instances. And then also going through my medical records on a deeper level and figuring out and finding out that, oh shit, I did have hearing loss, and I also did have that in my file, and I totally forgot about it being in my file. So those are things like that. But all right, y'all, I made it to the VA. I can see the VA. So I don't think I'm lying to y'all. But that's the thing. We got to keep fighting. Veterans need to understand. You need to keep fighting for your claims. You can't just give up. You can't just be like, all right, well, I guess I ain't get this. No, that's how you lose. You got to make sure you're fighting for your claim. Make sure you are fighting for what you deserved, what you earned, and what you're supposed to get. And just keep at it. It's not a simple process, but like I said, you just got to keep at it, keep working on it, and you'll get to what you need to get to. Tune in, like I said, every Sunday. I do these workshops every Sunday, free of charge. I don't charge you for anything. All you need to do is ask questions, come in, and get your questions straight, and I'll get you an answer. I was like, depending on how many people look, JC has been a person that's been in there a couple of times already. I just answer questions. I don't ask for anything. Hey, if people want to donate, they can donate. But it's not necessary. This is just something that I feel I should be doing as a veteran, assisting other veterans. That's all. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all take care. I'll probably see y'all what's today? Friday? We might do like a Friday night hangout tonight. So tune in tonight. It might be a bit later in the night, just so we don't sleep. So we might do it that way. But I'll holler at y'all. Y'all take care, man.